Hello and welcome back to the Azure DevOps course. In this lesson, we'll explain the Azure DevOps artifact types. We have three artifact types: the build artifacts, the pipeline artifacts, and Azure artifacts. So what is the difference between them? First, the build artifact. The build artifact, it is the default artifact that is used to publish artifact between build pipelines and release pipelines in the classic pipelines. It is the older one and the default one in Azure DevOps. This build artifacts can be used in both classic and YAML pipelines. You can see it only in the pipeline build summary. It is tied to this pipeline run. You can't access it instead from the pipeline run, so it is tied to the pipeline run. It is completely free and it can store anything. We use it to publish our build artifacts. You choose the files and the folders and you publish it as artifacts, so we can store anything. The pipeline artifact is the same like the build artifact. Instead, this pipeline artifact was made for the YAML pipelines only. It is newer than the build artifacts and it is very fast. It is faster in the download and the upload than the build artifacts. So Azure DevOps recommend you to use the pipeline artifacts when you are using YAML pipelines. It is faster and it has more features in the YAML pipelines. So that is for the build artifacts and the pipeline artifacts. They can store anything. They are free. They are accessed in the pipeline run. One is slower and one is faster. So if you are using classic pipelines, use the build artifacts. If you are using YAML pipelines, Azure DevOps recommend you to use pipeline artifacts. But you can also use build artifacts in the YAML pipelines. You can use the build artifact in both the classic and the YAML. But it is better to use the pipeline artifacts in the YAML pipelines because it is faster. So that's for the build artifacts and pipeline artifacts. They are both similar, but Azure artifacts is a completely different thing. It is different than the build artifacts and the pipeline artifacts. Azure artifacts is like a package repo. It is used to store NuGet package, Maven package, NPM, Python packages. It is like an alternative for JFrog Artifactory, Nexus, GitHub packages. It is used to store your packages, your own packages, and make these packages shareable within your Azure DevOps project or Azure DevOps organization, or you can also make it public packages. If you are using public Azure DevOps project, it is independent. You can use it from anywhere. It is not tied to the pipeline run. So it is a completely different thing. But there is a limitation. You have only 2 GB free to store your Azure Artifacts packages. Then you must pay. You have only 2 GB free for your Azure Artifacts. So it is completely different. You here in Azure Artifacts store your packages, your NPM packages, your NuGet packages. You are not storing the build artifacts like in the pipeline artifacts and the build artifacts here. So it is completely different. So that is the difference between the three of them. I have made a pipeline to demonstrate how to use the three types of the artifacts. So let's go and see it. I opened here the artifacts pipeline. So I'll explain first how to publish a build artifacts and a pipeline artifacts. So there is a task for both of them. Task for the publish build artifact and task for the publish pipeline artifact. And also there is a task for download build artifact and download pipeline artifact. So here, this is the task of publish build artifact. We have used it in the classic pipelines. It is the same task, but here it is in YAML pipeline. It takes the two inputs, the path to publish and the artifact name. So in the same way, the publish pipeline artifact also take the target path and the artifact name in the same way, but it is much better and faster to use the pipeline artifact. But you can also use the pipeline artifact in the abbreviation way. This is the abbreviation way. You type -publish only without writing all the task format, and in the publish key you only type here the path to publish, and under it type artifact and write the artifact name. So that is the abbreviation way. And you can also use the download abbreviation to download the pipeline artifact with -download. Current means it is inside the current pipeline. If it is in another pipeline, you type the name of the other pipeline here. And artifact here, it is the artifact name. So you can use abbreviation with the pipeline artifacts, but with the build artifacts you can't use it. You must use that full task format and write the publish build artifact task. So the pipeline artifacts has more features than the build artifacts. So that's for the build and the pipeline artifacts. But for Azure artifacts, it is different. To publish an artifact to Azure artifacts, we use the NuGet command here, task, the NuGet command task, and make the command push, and choose the package to push. And here we choose the Azure artifact feed. That is the Azure DevOps project / the Azure artifact feed. So what is a feed? A feed in Azure Artifacts is like a container that holds your artifacts. So it holds a special package with its versions in a feed. It's like a container for your package. So you can apply versioning on it and store all the versions of some package in this feed. So it's like a container for a package. So we must create the feed here to publish to it. So let's go to Azure Artifacts and let's create a feed for it. We will name the feed with the same name, and this feed will be public because we are using a public project. If it is private project, you can choose if it is for your private project or for the organization. So let's create it. But now to make the pipeline publish to this feed, we must give the pipeline the permission to publish to this Azure Artifact feed. To do so, we will come here in the setting, permissions, and choose the Azure DevOps Course build service. This is the user of the pipeline build, so it has the permissions for the pipeline. We must give it the permission to be a contributor for this feed, so the pipeline can publish to this feed. So I will click here in edit and make it a feed publisher. So the pipeline build service can publish to this feed. So click save and return back to our pipeline. Here we choose the feed with this name, and this is the name of the project. So let's go above and see what the pipeline do and what is this steps and tasks. So here we have two stages. First, the build stage. In this build stage, we package our shopping front-end project. I use here .NET Core CLI with command back. So we can make a package of our CS project, the shopping front-end app, our .NET Core application. So I give it command back and the package to back the CS project, and make the package to be outputted in the artifact staging directory. And then here we published the build artifact staging directory with artifact name pipeline nugget. This is a pipeline artifact. And in the second stage, we download this artifact package. Here using the dash download step, this downloads the pipeline artifact. We choose current to be our current pipeline and give it the artifact name. So that is download our package artifact. So after downloading the package artifact, we use the NuGet command with command push and choose the package to push to be inside the pipeline NuGet folder. That is the folder of our artifact, pipeline NuGet / .new package, to fetch our packages and publish it. And here in this key, we choose the Azure Artifact feed. First, we give the Azure Artifact project, that is the name of our project, / the Azure Artifact feed. So let's save and try to run the pipeline. Let's run it now. And here the package stage has finished. So if you go here in the build summary, we can see our pipeline artifact published. If we click here, we see our NuGet package for the shopping front-end app. It's published as a pipeline artifact. So let's return back. It now should publish this package artifact to the Azure Artifacts feed. So here the publish to Azure Artifacts stage has finished, and it pushed our package to the Azure Artifacts feed. So if you go to our feed in the Azure Artifacts, we should see our shopping front-end package with version 1.00. So that's good. It published our shopping front-end package to the Azure Artifact feed. So there is also something I want to mention. You can restore your Azure Artifacts packages with .NET Core restore task. If we return back to the artifact pipeline and use the .NET Core task and use the restore command, here we can select from the feeds here, we can select a feed from our Azure Artifacts. So you can choose the shopping front-end feed. So we can restore the NuGet packages from our Azure Artifacts feed. So if we click add here, now it generated a task that uses our feed. That is the feed ID. So you can restore your Azure Artifacts feed. You can publish your packages with the Azure Artifacts feed. So that's all for this lecture. We have learned the difference between the build artifacts and the pipeline artifacts and Azure Artifacts. We learned how to publish to your Azure Artifacts feed, how to restore from Azure Artifacts feed. I hope you enjoy it, and see you in the next lecture.